My name is Kevin Durban. I'm the president of Performance Mobility. Performance Mobility is a leading provider of freedom and independence for individuals in the disabled community. We do this through accessible transportation. And what do we mean by accessible transportation? Well, our primary product is wheelchair accessible vans. This is primarily minivans that have been specially modified, like a Honda Odyssey, a Toyota Sienna, a Chrysler Town & Country. And that vehicle now has a ramp added to the side door for easy access and a lowered floor in the interior for additional space for an individual in a wheelchair. So all of our customers rely on a wheelchair, but we operate in a niche of the automotive industry. Our industry is robust within the Colorado community. The demographic is great for us, and we have taken steps to ensure that we provide a good service to the community. We have 3 stores in the state of Colorado, 2 serving the Denver market, and 1 in Colorado Springs for the southern part of the state. We have primarily serving an aging demographic. We also have a large presence in the veteran community. So the presence of a large baby boomer population in the state of Colorado, plus then the large number of bases we have, like Fort Carson and Colorado Springs, prevent a really robust environment for our business. How we define entrepreneurship in our organization is really, it's our business plan. It's the way we have established our business model, I guess is the right way to say it. We have devolved responsibility to the store level. We want the retail consumer to have an excellent experience at our stores. So we're very customer focused, and you can't do that from a centralized office. That has to happen with the people who are meeting the customer every day. So an entrepreneur, in our view, is the person that's meeting the customer, which is every person in every store. We foster an environment for people to be successful as independent businessmen, and that's also the way that we measure the success of our employees. So they're measured not just on financial success, but also on the customer experience. These things factor big across the company. When I first got in this business, I had the pleasure of meeting a young man here in Denver who had a spinal cord injury as a late teenager. I think he was about an 18-year-old when that occurred. I'm meeting him 11 or 12 years later, and he has depended on his parents for everything for that whole period of time. When I met him, he came as a customer for one of our accessible vans, and we were able to outfit that with specialized high-tech fixtures that enabled him to drive, even though he had very limited physical ability. And for that young man, it was a total change in his life. It gave him the freedom to live on his own, to hold a job, to travel the United States anytime, anywhere he wanted, and completely free of his parents' assistance. So it was kind of freeing on both sides, I think. And checking in with him many months later, came across him and I said, so you see much of your parents these days? And his answer was, well, not so much, but he says, I think they're okay with that. Our biggest challenge is staffing. We want to find terrific employees, people who live for the customer experience. In our business, very few of our employees, and I would venture none of our employees, just view it as a job. It's a very gratifying business that we work in. It's a service to the community in a way that many jobs don't benefit. We are looking for the people that are in line with that mission, and how do we find them is the big question. We need quality people to continue to expand and grow our business. And one of the steps we've taken in 2015 is actually put in place an HR function, something that we haven't had in the early growth of our company, but we've now matured to the point where we have to focus on the people aspect in a way that we never have before. We need to be more successful with recruitment and selection, the onboarding process, the training process, and the conveyance of our corporate values. So that's a big change in 2015, but we view this as strategic for us. We intend to continue to expand the company. We started with a single small store in Colorado. We now have 3. We've also expanded in the last 4 years to the state of Oregon. We have 3 stores in Oregon. We added Salt Lake City in 2013, and we added Phoenix in 2014. So we now have 8 stores across the company, and we will continue to look for expansion opportunities that make sense in any place in the Western United States.